What is up, Republic of Gamers, and welcome to ROG Sidequest, our podcast where we talk about anything and everything in the nerd space. And I say that in a positive way because this is where we just get to throw our fandom at anything. Video games, but in this case, we're actually just going all in on Gundam because today we're celebrating a new product line of ASUS X Gundam products, which we'll dive into. But before we get into that, guys, my name is Jake Kalinsky, also known as Solid Jake GG, and joining me here on the show, we've got the Jeff Campman, Bodacious Cowboy. What's up, man?
Oh man, my inner teenager is so hyped up right now. If you told me, I don't know, 17 years ago, as a Gundam fan, that we would be talking about not only PC hardware that was Gundam themed, but just Gundam in general, I would be like, you got to be kidding me. So
you're getting paid to talk about Gundam right now. I mean, there's what's better than that?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool.
We've also got Brian Mayday. What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing? Just like Jeff said, I mean, it's so awesome to be here talking about Gundam. A couple years ago, I was in Tokyo, in Akihabara at the giant Sega Center, and I got to play all of the Gundam games, hop in and just see all the stuff. And to be here and now see all of these products finally starting to roll out, I mean, come on, how could you not be so excited?
We're going to dive a little deeper on that in a little bit. But let's just kind of talk about Gundam as a whole. So you can see to my side here, I've got this Heavy Arms Custom. This thing has, I don't know, this is at least 15 years old. I built this in high school. So if I graduated high school in 2006, I mean, I've had this thing forever. It's one of the oldest things I even own still, right? I didn't keep much from growing up in my parents' house, but I have my Heavy Arms Custom, and my brother has a Death Scythe Custom, and his is traveled with him through many states and stuff. And I think that speaks for itself. If there's something that you care enough about to hold on to, that IP has itself burned into you to the point where you love it. So
yeah,
I'm opening with that. What do you got, Jeff? What do you got? You like Gunpla?
Oh man, so I don't want to think about how much of my teenage disposable income went into Gunpla. Unfortunately, I don't have any of them with me here, but it's easy now. You can just go on Amazon and order whatever you want. But back 15, 18 years ago, we were like, oh, there are models, because I grew up doing plastic models in general. I was like, oh, there are models of this stuff, and then it's like, oh, you have to go to a website in Japan and navigate the challenges of international shipping. Before e-commerce was super mature. It's that was devotion, right?
Oh,
it's getting these things shipped from.
We had a anime convention in Connecticut called Connecticon once a year, every summer, and I would go, and I'd always have a savings, budget for Gunpla. It's like, okay, I mean, they'd upcharge them too, right? A $40 one, you're paying $70 at least.
Right.
But I'd always try to buy two. That was my goal.
Yeah,
and that's like a 16-year-old with $200. That's a lot of money. Yeah. But I'm like, this is my Anime Con spending money, and it's basically my Gunpla spending money. So. Yeah. shows how much
again, it's a whole, it's not just a show, it's a culture, man.
Yeah, it really is. And it's funny that you say that, because for me, I've never been a huge fan of the actual shows, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just tunnel visioned on the actual Gundams, and I've always just thought the Gundams from I've played a bunch of the games, but just in general, that's really what hooked me in, having the fandom of your favorite style, especially I think our generation specifically, Gundam Wing was the one that pulled everyone in.
Yeah. So we were just looking at, I was trying to jog my memory before the show to see how long I've been engaged with this, how long I've been in this fandom. And Gundam Wing ran on, again, we're dating ourselves here so badly, but it ran on Toonami on Cartoon Network. In probably, they said it originally debuted in 2000, but it probably, I felt like I came into it later than that, but again, I don't know. But yeah, since 2000 was when I think Gundam Wing first premiered on the Toonami block, and we were watching, they were premiering
Yeah.
anime. They were premiering anime on there well before that, and that's actually how I got into anime as a whole thing.
That's true for a ton of people in our generation.
Yeah.
Like that was our only resource, really. There's nothing else.
Yeah. Remember back in 2000, no on-demand streaming anything.
56K. I mean, DSL if you were lucky. It was a different world that we lived in 20 years ago. But
it was, that's where it all started for me.
That's 21 years of Gundam in my life. That is
right.
Dang.
It's two-thirds of how long I've been alive. So
yeah, that's longer than I have. So it's funny to hear you guys talk about Gundam, because for me growing up, I had to wait over at night for Toonami to come on so I could watch Gundam. So I would sit up watching it on those little portable square TVs and watching these giant mechs, cascade across the screen, and that it had a huge part of my childhood because I was really stuck with Legos, and I got to build Gundams out of Legos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is cool because like we had like Transformers as kids and like Beast Wars and stuff like that, where that was it. And once you discovered Gundam, it's like, whoa, this is way cooler. Everything about this is just like so much cooler.
It's like, this is a direct ripoff.
For us, it kind of, well, it didn't feel direct, but you definitely had like, Heroes Gundam, which I should know the name of it.
It's the Wing Gundam.
Gundam Wing.
Jake.
Yeah. It's just called Wing
Gundam. Wing Gundam.
Oh, okay.
The show was called Gundam Wing,
and it's a Wing Gundam.
The primary Gundam is Wing Gundam, and then Wing Gundam Zero.
Look, Heavy Arms is the only one that matters. Death Scythe, they can all just be on the side. That's fine. But yeah, so it's definitely cool how he did. He kind of transformed me into plane, variant and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see how some people might look at that as being a direct competitor to Transformers. But anyways, a lot of fun stuff. I got to tell a story about my first trip to Japan. It was for my 21st birthday. My wife was currently studying. Well, she was my girlfriend then. She was studying abroad at Waseda University in Tokyo. So I flew out there. It's actually my birthday tomorrow. So it was like exactly like 12 years ago today, where we went to Odaiba, where they built the first ever life-size Gundam. And I feel like I should be like finding these photos right now and putting them on stream of young Jake standing in front of this massive Gundam. I can accomplish this. We'll do it live. But it was really just a heck of an experience. And when I say life size, like you're taking the monorail. You have to take a monorail to Odaiba, because Odaiba is man-made land. There's no subway underground or anything, right? You're on this monorail above, and as you're coming into Odaiba, like on the ocean, you can see the Gundam in the distance, and it's like, it feels unreal. It really, I'll never forget that moment.
Yeah, and I know that feeling because we were in Japan in 2019, and we went out and did the same thing. Like, I don't know if it's still in the same location.
No,
but
they've moved it. They've moved it a few times.
Yeah, it's they build a new one every couple years, and there's a whole new. There's one that moves now. Like, it's not just a static display, but it's a mobile. It's an actual
So this was before it was even lit up or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So this is my Facebook album from a million years ago, because why not? But you can see there's like these photos from the monorail, and of course I took a bajillion photos. But yeah, I mean, of course I'm like a little nerd posing with this Gundam, and these images are ancient, so they're super tiny resolution. But
didn't have iPhones back then.
No, this was a smartphone, I think, but probably.
Well, I mean, we call them camera phones, right?
I don't know, like, so, but really, I mean, really fun time. Long time ago, 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
June 18th, 2009 is when that photo was taken.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, we went and saw the one we saw was the life-size Gundam Unicorn, and man, that was just the coolest thing ever. It's it lights up, it transforms. It's so cool.
And they've done a bunch.
Right.
Yeah.
I always see it like on the newsfeed. It's like new Gundam appears in Japan, and it's like all of the pictures, all the fans and stuff like that. But it's really a testament to how strong Gundam is, like how good the community is, that they can assemble giant, life-size mechs every other year, and have tons of fans flocking to them.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
Yeah.
they literally are tourist attractions.
it's like a religious site.
So,
Yeah.
so we've all been to Japan. Have you guys played? Yeah, Brian, you even actually mentioned this in the opening.
Right.
The arcade games. Now, when you played, was it like the full pod, or you had to go into like a closed door, sit down in a cockpit and play? Did you try that?
No, it was the 4 seats, like all back to back, and it was in the arcade at the Sega building in Akihabara.
But they
and
weren't like
all my
pods.
buddies. No, it wasn't the pods.
Okay.
But we could all co-play together, so all 4 of us, and the seats rotated as we played.
Well, that's cool. It might be a
Yeah,
more
it was really cool.
because when I played like 12 years ago, it was I don't know if it was 8 or 10 pods, but there was like 4 on one side. Let's say there's 8, 4 on one side, 4 on another side. These are literally just the teams, and you go in. And this was at Tokyo Big Box, which is basically like a shopping mall. They had a big arcade there at Tokyo Big Box, and they basically you had to purchase a Gundam license first before you can play. And I think it was 300 yen to buy a license, which is like $3. And then you had to basically buy game time. But basically, as you play, you unlock different mobile suits. So the more you play, the cooler the Gundam you can use. So of course, I've got like this absolute, basic, like the starter suit that they offer you. And some of these other guys are flying around and like these super badass Gundams. But
Right.
it gives you this really cool experience where you had 2 feet pedal and you had 2 joysticks in each hand. And it was a massive screen all the way around. And the pod was big enough that my wife was able to come in there and just experience it with me. And dude,
So cool.
it was insane. And that's the kind of stuff that I live for, really. That content there's nothing else like that in any other kind of game or IP, really. So yeah, cool. Well, I mean,
I clearly didn't spend enough time in the arcades.
oh man, it's Japanese arcades it's like a forgotten thing here in the West. Like we don't have arcades like that out here, and they've continued making new and amazing games and experiences out there. So definitely do it because it's still a big industry. Although that you talked in 2019, you said you went to that big Sega place in Akiba. I don't think that's there anymore. I think it shut down.
It did.
Yeah, it's very tragic. That's one of the biggest arcades in all of Japan. Maybe the biggest arcade.
It was one of the most iconic buildings there. And
They loved having tourists there, especially the expert gamers. Like, oh, more target practice for us. They're probably so used to the highest level of gameplay, and then they see us and they're like, oh yes, target practice.
Yeah, there's a video, unrelated, but there's a video of my friend while we were over there. He was playing one of the rhythm games. He was like on the beginner level. He's tapping away. Then there's this guy right next to him. Hands are just flying over the keys and going totally crazy. It's that's the whole experience. But
Chat says they closed right before COVID hit. Well,
yeah. So
it stinks, but
yeah. So speaking of, years past, like Gundam, if you're not aware, Gundam started in 1979. It's the first series was Mobile Suit Gundam. It's commonly called like 0079 or something. At least that's what I call it. But yeah, 42 years, right? And back, I think if you consume anime now, we're very used to shows. They maybe get 1 season. If you're fortunate, they get 2. If it's really iconic season, you might get 3 of 11 or 12 episodes. These are epic length series. Like the original, they say is 43 episodes.
Wow.
But you have all these subsequent ones. I think. In the original continuity, which I think is called Universal Century, you have these shows like Zeta Gundam, which is how many episodes? Oh, it was only 50. I feel like these went longer. Maybe that's just, again, my memory's betraying me, but it felt like some of these went like 70 episodes. We have these epic length series. You really can absorb yourself into. It's just these really broad, it's not just about, of course, this is it's obviously the modeling and the fan community are their whole things, but these series, it's like giant robots, but also these like epic like solar system spanning stories about conflict and
it's political space drama. It's beautiful.
Space, it's space opera, and it's ideal for them. And so these themes of war, these themes of belonging, of I guess, I mean, loss too, but it was no spoilers, but anyway, so this is serious weighty stuff. It's not just about giant robots, and so there's so much of it to dig into.
But I do want to point out that we have a partnership with Crunchyroll, and you can watch plenty of Gundam on Crunchyroll right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it's and again, it's so much more accessible now, because like if Toonami or Cartoon Network didn't pick something up back in the day, like you were just out of luck. There were some shows I just don't think they ever did, like the Zeta series and the Double Zeta and all that stuff. They did do G Gundam, which is kind of a sillier show. Honestly,
there's a bunch of different art styles in Gundam too, which is cool.
But again, you can just go out now, and it's like if you want to pick it up, I'm pretty sure you can watch whatever you want, wherever you want it, and so it's much more accessible now.
Well,
I don't know where I would tell like a new person to the series to start.
Wing,
though. That's
where I started. That's where everyone should start.
I don't. I don't know if I don't know.
Gundam Wing is pretty. There's a lot of politics. It's pretty deep.
Yeah,
but it's also got such great like characters and.
Yeah. It's not
interesting backstories.
It's not a bad place to start. It's self-contained. It's a self-contained continuity.
Yeah. Gundam Seed is pretty good.
The most recent one, if you want heavy, like Iron Blooded Orphans was, I think, one of the most recent main series shows. And it's really good. But it's also really heavy. It's probably one of the most heavy of all of them. So
by heavy you mean like
just
dark?
Be aware. Yeah, dark.
Yeah, good. That's what I like. Give me that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we're child soldiers, right?
Well, yeah.
And what's that? That it's it's heavy.
You gotta train them when they're young. Be aware that.
Yeah. So
why is that true for like all these stories? It's always like young kids piloting these mechs of destruction.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So we can.
But there's sorry. I mean, there's just so much to dig into. Like, there's also all these OVAs, which are original video animations. There's two iconic ones. 0080, which is only 6 episodes. Again, just, themes of growing up in wartime. 0083, which is that's another epic one. The 8th MS team, which is most people would hold up, I think, as one of the best shows of all. Of the and that one they did air on Toonami. I still remember that show like vividly. It's it's very we have these again. I think that the main continuity focuses on these people with these epic sort of elevated mental powers, because everybody lives in space. They're called new types. Everybody lives in space. The space colonies do things to people's brains and development, I think, is the idea. And the 8th MS team was so I think it was a change of pace, because it's like, okay, we're just grunts on the ground dealing with the consequences of being grunts, right?
There's a lot of Gundam content to pick from. That's for sure. Like like you said, trying to pick the first one to start with, that's not an easy task, because there's so many different themes and stories and plot lines that have been done. And just kind of comparing this to like comparing American culture and American TV. Do we have anything that they rehash like this? Like Gundam gets rehashed. I think of like I guess we had like Transformers and Beast Wars, but I think Transformers is
Yeah,
actually
right.
originally Japanese anyways. We often think of it
Yeah.
as being American, but it just happened
Yeah.
to come to America sooner.
Right. And I think Transformers was even one of those shows, like it was sort of cut up and repackaged.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because that's such, you know, something that happened to so much anime at the time, like
completely changed plots of like Samurai Ninja Cats, like, or Samurai Pizza Cats. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Completely different show in Japan, like completely different show, not even similar at all. But
like,
they had no translator, so they just kind of like dubbed it. Like they just had fun and dubbed this stupid show, and they called it Samurai Pizza Cats. Like,
but Macross got, you know, all this stuff got sort of again cut up and pasted together, and like it's real doing a violence to the source material.
Yeah, well, it was a different time. It was a different.
Yeah,
time.
it was a different time. Yeah, it was a different time. It was like, you know, oh, we can take this stuff, and you know, there is no internet. You know, people can't like go out and say, oh, this is, you know, so unless you were like really deep into fan communities, engaging with, you know, conventions and stuff like that, you didn't necessarily even know that it was being. But yeah, anyway. But I think, you know, Gundam did avoid that fate. It came along late enough to avoid that fate for the most part. So we did get, you know, a fairly pure representation of the series.
Well,
so
we can take a look at the new Gundam line, as of course that is half of the main reason why we're here celebrating this today. I mean, obviously, and an excuse to talk about Gundam is fantastic. Anyways, but there's two new Gundam lines that we have. The Tough Gaming line, which is the Principality of Zeon Zaku. And then we've just got the Earth Federation Space Force, of course, the Gundam line. And that's the ROG series, where we've got, I mean, Brian, I mean, I know you've been diving deep on this, and you're going to be doing a build soon,
right? Yeah.
I
had both sides to pick from, and I'm working with a larger content creator right now to try and put his PC together. But we decided to go with the RX 72 side. But the RG, we're really excited. But I'm finally going to get hands-on with some of these products, and I've been dying to look at the case, most specifically. I think this is one of our most impressive things that we've done with a chassis in a long time.
It's gorgeous,
it's absolutely stunning.
So that's the Helios, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's a Helios.
Yeah. So the RGB on the front panel is sorry, Chip, my bad.
I was gonna say, there's a whole there's actually an entire bit of Gundam artwork just kind of embossed in the front panel of the RGB LEDs shine through. Yeah. And I think you can actually show the case.
We'll go there in a minute. I just want to cycle through. Oh, there
it goes.
We've got everything. We got a router if you want it. We got a motherboard, a Z590 motherboard. We've got the graphics card. I think it's an RTX 3080. CPU cooler, power supply, monitor, case, you know, keyboard, mouse, headset.
Can we talk about how clean that mouse is? Like, oh my.
Yeah. I like the t-shirts too that come with this. I saw some bundles on Newegg actually, and those bundles include the shirts that are actually glow in the dark. So there's a shirt for each side, and it comes with those peripheral bundles. So I know those were going by fast.
Yeah, the shirt and tumbler. It's like, do I want one of those? Can I pick this up? I'm gonna have to look into this for myself, because I'm like, it's hard to just pick one.
I can see people in chat saying someone already has a Z590. Somebody's already gotten the display.
Awesome.
Nice, guys.
Awesome.
But if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, you can go to our microsite, which is asus.com, or you can just Google Asus X Gundam. If you're on Twitch, our bot will direct you. Unfortunately, the bot doesn't work on YouTube yet, but our bot on Twitch, if you type in !Gundam, it will post a link for you right there. It's a lot of really good looking peripherals here with this. I mean, they're just skins, but like, these are gonna.
It's done in a way that it's a wink and a nod. It looks good to the. It's so hard to nail this, but I think we really did nail it. They look good to the uninformed eye, but if you're in on it, you'll be like, oh man, I know this is sweet stuff. And you know, shout out to Jay's 2 cents, who did a whole build.
Man, that build is gorgeous.
all the parts. He really did them justice. He even got a Gundam model in the case to hold up the graphics card, so it looks really cool. You should go check it out. But yeah, really easy to make a really sweet looking coordinated build.
Yeah, I think there's so many little details scattered across all of these products. I want to point out specifically the motherboard, the back of it.
We'll go to the motherboard in a second, but let's just like look at this PSU, because like how many people go out of their way to hide their PSU nowadays? So many. Would you hide this? No. Like, this is such a gorgeous PSU, and the fact that you can choose like this chibi Gundam, like I want this. Like I'm about to buy this PSU just for this little chibi Gundam ASUS icon, because if you want the more badass look, you can get that. You want the chibi thing, you can get that. You want the RG logo, there's all kinds of cool stuff here. It is nice, and looks like it's got some cool RGB on it as well.
Rip out your PSU shrouds.
for one like
this one, absolutely,
yeah. Because normally
the cables are also custom color for just this PSU, blue, white, and one red on the VGP or on the GPU cable, the PCIe. So absolutely stunning, like the little details and everything, meant to really encompass Gundam. So I think we did a great job on both sides.
Yeah. Okay, like there's all these little touches, like Brian was saying. The back of the motherboard has this Gundam graphic on it. They'll show through, like your most motherboard trays have a cutout so you can put the CPU cooler brackets on your thing. There's this whole graphic on the back of the board. It'll show through that. It really is, again, like this 360-degree treatment of there's all these little Easter eggs to find. Whoops.
I don't know what this is. This is just more on the Z590. Like, okay.
I'm just looking. You can find all these on Newegg right now if you want to get them for yourself. At least the ROG side, even mostly the ROG stuff.
Yeah, even just the IO ports, like.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the tough gaming stuff actually just went up. I know some of it's still available as well on Newegg.
But yeah, it's just it's so hard to nail this, and I do think we did a spectacular job of nodding to the fans. And like the just the boxes, even the boxes. If you look at the entire stack of components in like Jay's video, it's it's like, oh man, I'm so excited about this. I just want to watch them tear into it. But they're like, these are things you want to keep and display when you do get them, because it's like this monochrome Gundam art on the front. It's just so cool.
Yeah. I'm really stoked to get started on this big build. I'm gonna get all the boxes together, take a picture and send them away. But unfortunately, he didn't want the boxes, so I'll be taking.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about the Zaku line as well. Really, 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 the red line. I mean, I don't think we've done anything like this ever, to have a full red PC build as well.
We can't go to the Zaku till we look at the case.
Oh, right.
Sorry. It's just
look at the front panel of that thing.
Yeah.
It's just got the full-length Gundam art on it.
The window on the shroud. It's got part of the shroud to hide all the cables, but you got the window to really appreciate that PSU.
Yeah, it's a really unusual feature. But yeah, again, it's like if you're trying to show off all this stuff, like there you go. Oh, it's got the Gundam logo on the straps on the top too. Oh man, just it's so satisfying.
It really is.
Stick your favorite Gundam model on top of that, or in there even, like Jay did. Yeah, there's plenty of room in there.
And I saw one person, because I'm on the social team. I actually saw somebody post. They went to Japan specifically to pick up the case. And they came back and posted, all their pictures with it and everything. And they're like, oh, how much do you want for it? Just all this stuff. But now it's here, and I can't wait to see people actually start building in these systems.
I'd be curious to see how big of a Gundam model you could actually get in there, because you know, for the unfamiliar, they range from 144th scale, which is like, I don't know, they're like 6 inches tall, to 1/100th, which is like a foot tall, and then 1/60th, which is just the 1/60th scale ones are just these giant, fully articulated. They got all the inner skeletons. It's called perfect grade. It's they're
expensive and
cool.
hard to build.
Yes. I did do that. I do know that firsthand.
They do have the 1-to-1 now.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
If you can afford that, I think you can.
Yeah, if you can afford that. It sort of becomes the inverse. How many ROG Gundam PCs do you need to make it fully articulated and capable of motion?
How satisfying is that, by the way? Just pick your side. Well,
yeah, let's talk about the Zaku stuff.
Oh man.
Got the monitor has the little Zaku eye on the back, like Char's. This is all Char's color scheme. B550 motherboard has all the red accents on it. Got the router with the Principality of Zeon logo.
I can't pick a favorite here, which is they're both. I mean, obviously this is a smaller line, but it's just done so well.
Yeah, clearly, Jake, what you need to do is like his and hers systems.
There we go.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
I love on the GT301 the case. It has a headphone hanger, but you know, again, those little details, right? Including the decal on the actual thing. It's just really cool.
Chat, let us know which one you prefer. You guys like the Zaku? You guys like the Gundam? Which one stands out to you?
Pick your side.
Pick your side. Choose your allegiance. Really cool though. I'm glad, because I remember last year they announced this stuff for, I don't know if it was Japan only.
It did get its start in Japan.
So it's come on, you can't say I like both giant rat. You got to pick a side. You can like them both, but we're asking you to pick a side.
Like the CPU coolers, we did. I don't think we even touched on this, but like the CPU coolers, the pump heads have like the Gundam heads, like replicated on them.
Yep.
So the pump head has the Zaku head on it with like the mono eye and the little, the spike. There's even graphics on the radiator.
Look at that.
Oh man,
it's all different. You got the Earth Federation Force, you've got the ROG logo, and then you've got the actual logo.
I like how it's got like the 3D effect, like it's a decal that you put on, but it has like a spacer for it. I was watching the video about it. Really, really nice touch. And I think in the Helios case, it really amplifies that 3D effect.
Yeah, it's just looking at this thing. I'm like, which of these can I? How much of this can I get into my PC? Because I have a compact case. I'm gonna have to think about.
Are you an Intel or AMD guy?
Well, right now Intel. But
so you're going with the Z590 board?
Well, I don't know. If I was gonna, like, I have a prime board in my current system, I would get some of the white. I would get some of the white components and match them up with it.
Right.
So they match up really nice. I really need the headphone stand. I actually, surprisingly, I really need the headphone stand because I need to wireless charging for my phone. I need to put this headset in a place of prominence. I might be able to get away with that. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm getting ready to upgrade my peripherals as well, and I've been eyeing that headset. I love the colors on it. I mean, the fact that you still get the RGB on it too, I'm in. Yeah.
It's just it's full of these little details. Like you're putting together, when you put together the models, you have like these dry transfer decals that are like very, very annoying to put on correctly. Share your favorite techniques in the chat if you got them. But it's like that we cover the headset and those kinds of details. It's all ROG. you read. Yeah, it's got all the specs of the headset. Yeah, it's really cool.
Do you guys happen to know if these fans are Noctua? I know we partner with them with a lot of our fans.
So for which part?
I assume they're asking about
AIO?
Yeah.
For the liquid coolers, those are actually our proprietary fans.
Okay, they're in-house. Okay.
Yeah. We have addressable RGB. We have ROG Strix special fans with our in-house design.
What about on the case itself? Also in-house?
Yeah, those will be in-house.
Makes sense.
The Noctua partnership is for the ROG Ryujin and Ryujin 2. I think maybe the Ryuo cooler, but yeah, they're not part of the Gundam lineup.
Got it. Will it ever be restocked, or is it one and done? Do we know that?
So I think depending on the response, which again is strong, I think this isn't a one and done.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So if everything sells out immediately, it seems likely that we would continue producing these components.
Yeah,
that's good.
Right. I know for sure. I've seen a lot of people like on TikTok specifically posting, all their because it became available last week. They finally received them all this week. So I'm starting to see a bunch of user-generated content with people building in their systems, getting them all together. And I would be just so bummed if I personally missed it too. So I'm really glad we're doing a restock.
Yeah.
I personally bought something. It's supposed to come in today, but
I would say I would say though, like if you want something, don't sit on it.
Right. If you see it for sale, make it happen.
If you see something you want from this lineup, or you want the whole lineup, like get it, because it's always hard to say what precisely may or may not come back in stock. So yeah, there's like these things are moving. Like I'm looking at the Newegg page, and a lot of this is already, the first run is already out. So you can get that entire actually Newegg's in-house system builder arm ABS put together an entire PC that has all the components in it, like including the RTX 3080. So if you're like, how can I get all of this at once? You can ABS at Newegg will sell you the entire PC.
Wow.
Assembled in-house. It looks really sweet.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't either.
One of our powered by ASUS. Yeah, one of our powered by ASUS partners.
Chat was asking about the fans and the Helios in the front and the back. They are 120 or 140 millimeter for the front and back of the Helios, and then on the top radiator goes up to 360 millimeter down to 120.
Yeah, right, right.
But Helios is a nice case for sure.
Yeah, it's a massive case.
Yeah, it's huge. Like people don't understand how big that case is until you have a full system in there.
Yeah, it's really sharp. It's really sharp. We do. It's also got some neat little touches in it, like a GPU holder. So we've all seen situations where like, okay, you got a really long, heavy GPU, while the front of it might sag down a little bit. We've got a GPU holder in there to prevent that from happening.
Especially with the modern generation of GPUs, they have only gotten bigger.
Triple slot coolers, and
there's also an integrated vertical mount holder for your GPU, compatible with our R2000 vertical riser bar. Sorry, I don't know why I blanked on that.
That's nice, because like the Helios is the case that's actually designed for vertical mounting, because a lot of PC cases aren't big enough for that. Even if you buy a larger case, the fans will often be too close to the glass. And then I actually had this question a while ago. Somebody had a similar case to my build, and they're like, why is my GPU running so hot? I was like, well, it's vertically mounted, bro. The heat is literally blowing against the glass, and just and he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So
you can't get a lot of it. You can't get a lot of intake air in through glass.
Right. So, but the Helios is designed for that, and I love the way it looks. Having a vertically mounted, GPU just looks so cool. But if you are in Twitch and you're interested in finding the links to buy this, you can type !Gundam or !buy in chat, and it'll give you the link to our microsite that we were just looking at. If you're watching on YouTube, you just gotta, we don't have a bot working there yet. You just gotta Google Gundam X ASUS or ASUS X Gundam, and it'll bring you straight to our microsite where all the links are there.
Yeah, you can also go to Newegg right now, and it's on the front page.
Oh,
there's a Gundam edition call out, so like you can go right there and get right to the stuff.
But again, I want to give a shout out to Crunchyroll. We're partnering with them. Check out Crunchyroll, because if you need to watch Gundam or any anime, that's my source. Jeff, I think that's the only service you subscribe to right now. You said you only have Crunchyroll.
I was just gonna say, like, this is a Crunchyroll only house. It's our only streaming service because all we watch is anime. So
I hope you're jealous of me, because over this weekend I had all of My Hero to binge. And did all I hadn't watched any of the season. Yeah. So the whole season we watched 13 episodes. So
oh wow.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, Crunchyroll for all your anime needs. Strongly endorsed.
And we're sponsoring a cosplay contest at Anime Expo. So
oh man. Wow.
Can't wait to see your sweet Gundam cosplays.
Yeah. Fire up your sewing machines, folks.
I actually
better build. Go ahead.
Sorry, I went to AX 2 years ago, right before COVID. So in LA, and there was a huge Gundam scene there. I mean, it was, oh man, I want to say it was 40th anniversary of Gundam. Yeah, and there was a huge Gundam event there. So I'm excited to see what is happening this event, especially after COVID, after everything. So I'm going to be tuning in. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be fun. Yeah, and I think the last thing we wanted to talk about is there was a Gundam event earlier this week. Brian, you were telling me about this, where they announced multiple new things, including they're making a Gundam Esport. Now, I don't think they gave us any details as to what that is. Any speculation? Is it going to be a fighting game, just like a side-by-side fighter? Is it going to be the three-dimensional Gundam games that we typically see as an esport? I don't know.
If we could see the HOTAS setup, like you were saying, and you're controlling a Gundam from your room, I'm never leaving my room. That's it. Like, it's over. The new competitive meta. So that's what I would love to see.
Sorry, somebody reminded me of a female cosplay I did years ago, and they said I should do it again. No. But fun times. I actually was cosplayed as Solid Snake when I met my wife. No, actually, was I Wolverine? Oh, wow. I was Wolverine. I was Wolverine. I had the mutton chops and everything when we first met. I have not cosplayed in many years, but it was a lot of fun. It's fun.
It's something I've always wanted to try, but I've just never had the wherewithal to bring it together. Maybe I'll have to think about how to.
I feel too old for it now. I feel like I'm at that age where it's just like I need to wait till I'm even older, and then I can be the old characters, right? Be like that creepy old guy at the anime convention. Yes. Or will there not even be creepy old guys because it's something that we grew? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know. But yeah, guys, check out the Gundam line. Check out Crunchyroll. Check out Anime Expo. A lot of cool stuff on the horizon. I'm a future professional Gundam esports commentator right here, calling it right now. I used to be a pro commentator. Been waiting for that next game that really, really gets me inspired. Sounds like Gundam esports might be my thing. Sunrise, let's go. Let's do it. Any shout outs you guys want to give? Brian, we'll start with you.
Sure. Make sure you check out our socials for ASUS and ROG. I'll be posting more about some Gundam content, especially as more people get their items. So if you want to see kind of some hands-on stuff, I'll be building a PC on our TikTok as well. So check that out.
Very cool. Jeff, balls in your court.
I'm super pumped that we get to do this, and this collaboration is so cool. So I'm looking forward to doing more and seeing more and what everybody can put together with it.
For me, I need, if you guys know where I can find these Gundam Pod arcade machines in Japan where I could play in one again, I'm gonna make a point to go to that arcade my next visit to Japan within the next year. So help me out. I need that in my life again. Till next,
be like a DDR person and drag one into your basement.
Yeah. Get the gloves, everything.
The thing is like other people have to have them, right? You need it's not a single player experience. It really is an arena like experience.
That's an excuse to get 4 of them in your basement and bring 4 people over. You know,
now we're talking.
Remodel your entire house around
again. Yeah, we just remodeled the whole thing. We need all these walls are just put up. Let's take them down. We need room for the pods. My wife would love that. Beautiful. Guys, that is going to do it here for ROG Sidequest. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you later. GG's.
Bye, guys.
Later.